Do you know there is a definite and concise way that we can be prosperous and successful in life? The Bible lays it out clearly. Wait right there and I'll share with you exactly what it says. Joshua 1:8 says, "Keep this book of the law always on your lips, meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful." I'm an avid meditator. I've been meditating now for about 6 years, and I've tried a lot of different types of meditation. One of the benefits that scientists and physicians have found is that when you meditate, the world opens up for you. When I was studying transcendental meditation, I found that a lot of successful people attribute their success to meditation. And one guy even said that when he started meditating, that his luck got better. Now, I don't believe in luck, but I do believe that if there are benefits to meditation like success, more focus, lower blood pressure, and overall improvement of brain functioning, then it isn't a secular thing at all, but it's a God thing. Now, we know that the enemy has taken the things that God has given us to cause us to have an abundant life, and he's tried to corrupt those things so that we as believers will stay away from it. I believe that this is a principle like so many other things, and it works whether you are a believer or not. Sadly, a large percentage of unbelievers are using meditation and they are benefiting from it, and most Christians that I know won't go anywhere near it. Proverbs 23:7 says that whatsoever a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if we think enough on something, then it becomes who we are. And Joshua chapter 1 tells us exactly what we should think on. There are a lot of benefits to meditation. God created it for us. So I personally want to get as much information about it as I possibly can. Now, this video is not about meditation. This is about how we can make ourselves prosperous and successful according to what it says in Joshua chapter 1. I went to a 2-day training on transcendental meditation about 3 years ago, and I learned a lot about how the brain works and the benefits of meditation and how it can completely change the trajectory of a person's life. Now again, this video is not a lesson on meditation techniques, but please know that TM in itself is not a spiritual practice. People of all religion, agnostics, and even atheists practice TM. But while I was sitting through these lectures, Joshua 1:8 was one of the first scriptures that came to mind. I had known for years what the Bible said about meditation, and I had already adopted a spiritual practice of meditation into my daily routine. But recently I was doing a Bible study on courage, and I came across Joshua 1. I'll give you a bit of a backstory. Right before the first chapter in Joshua, we see Deuteronomy chapter 31, where Moses is explaining to the people that after everything that they had gone through, he was not going to be the one to lead them into the promised land. God had told Moses that because of his lack of faith, that it would be his servant Joshua that would lead the people over the Jordan River into the land that he had promised them. So at the end of Deuteronomy, we find Moses laying his hand on Joshua, where Joshua is filled with the spirit of wisdom, and then Moses dies. Joshua chapter 1 starts with God telling him, "Okay, Joshua, Moses is dead now. I need you to get up," because the 30 days of mourning had already passed. So God is saying, "Joshua, get up and let's finally get these people into the promised land." God was encouraging Joshua, and he starts in verse 5 of Joshua chapter 1, and he says, No man will be able to stand before you, to oppose you as long as you live. Just as I was present with Moses, so will I be with you. I will not fail you or abandon you. Be strong and confident and courageous, for you will give this people an inheritance, the land which I swore to their ancestors. Only be strong and be very courageous to do everything in accordance with the entire law which Moses, my servant, commanded you. And you will be prosperous and be successful wherever you go. Whenever I would read or quote Joshua 1:8, I always wondered, what exactly is God asking us to meditate on? Surely he can't be talking about the 600 plus laws that Moses had laid out for the people. And surely this can't be what he's asking us as believers to meditate on today, because after all, we are no longer under the law, but under grace. You don't believe me? I'll give you a few seconds to read what Romans 6:14 says here. So what was God telling Joshua to meditate on? Let's go back to chapter 31 of Deuteronomy, right before Moses dies. God commissions Joshua and he commands him in verse 23 saying, "Be strong and courageous, for I will be with you." Verse 24, the very next verse says, "When Moses completely finished writing the words of this law in a book, he commanded the Levites who carried the Ark of the Covenant to take this book of the law and put it beside the Ark of the Covenant." Okay, so what was in the book? It says, when Moses was completely finished writing the words of this law in a book. But what law? The commandment that God had just given Joshua in verse 23, to be strong and courageous, for I am with you. So how do we make our way prosperous and have good success in life? Joshua 1:8 says, "Keep this book of the law always on your lips, meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful." Again, it says, "so that you may be careful to do everything written in it." What's written in the law? What is it that we are to do? Be courageous, be strong. In chapter 31 of Deuteronomy, we see Moses speaking to Joshua in front of the people, and he says, "It is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you or abandon you. Do not fear or be intimidated." So Moses wrote this law and gave it to the priest. There are 3 words in the Bible that translate into the English word meditate. But the one used here in Joshua chapter 1 is the Hebrew word hagah, which means to imagine or utter, to speak, to muse, or one of my favorite is to revolve in the mind. You want to know how to be prosperous and successful? Meditate on what God commanded Joshua. Be strong and courageous, for it is I who goes before you. I will be with you. I will not fail you or abandon you. Do not fear or be intimidated. So as you embark upon the journey of your own life, as you seek out to do great things in your career, or to have awesome relationships, or to have a dynamic ministry, whatever it is that you feel that God has called you to do or to be or to have, it will not be an easy thing. But I promise you, you will be prosperous and successful when you meditate on these things. Be courageous, be strong, do not fear, do not be intimidated. Ponder on these things every day. The scripture says day and night. And you will see yourself moving from a place of doubt and fear and lack to a place of prosperity and courage and success. Thank you so much for joining me. Good day.